How we doing, guys? Welcome to the preview and the predicted lineup. Arsenal against Crystal Palace, Carabao Cup quarter final. And the games are coming thick and fast now. It is, of course, the Christmas period. And this is where you kind of get a little bit confused as to what day of the week it is, because Christmas completely throws all logical sense out of the window. But yeah, listen, it's going to be an interesting game, and we would have played this game last week, but of course Crystal Palace are in the UEFA Conference League, and their games in that competition take priority over domestic cup competitions, so the game got moved. There's been a lot of discussions and a lot of arguments, should we say, over when this game would be played. When it was originally looking like it could be played, Crystal Palace were having to play every 48 hours or something like that. It was ridiculous. But we've kind of come to a compromise. The game's going to be on Tuesday. I suppose in one sense it's not ideal because we've got a big Premier League game at the weekend against Brighton. But when you're looking at our fixtures for the rest of this, month, I'm thinking Tuesday, Saturday. That's not the end of the world. And we kind of just come off the back of a week off. So it's a bit of a catch-22. And listen, we all have to do it. We all have to, play loads of games at this time of the month. It's not ideal. Everybody's dealing with injuries at the moment. So it's not just us. It just feels like we're getting loads of injuries in the same area. First of all, it was in our attack. Now it's in our defense. It's just mad how it seems to have happened, in that way. Whereas other teams, they sign, kind of get injuries here and there and in different positions, and they can kind of make do, where we're just kind of, it's not ideal. Like I said, we've got some injuries defensively, a lot of injuries, and I think that, we just kind of have to get through it, and players are going to have to play. It's the risk that we're going to have to take at the moment. But yeah, the semi-final draw has already been made, and the winner of this game will play the shin kickers Chelsea. So yeah, that's a two-legged, set of games, home and away. If we do get through and we play Chelsea, then it will be home second, which is a good advantage. And of course, the other semi-final is Man City Newcastle. So listen, at the end of the day, you've got to do what you've got to do. It's the first competition where you can win a trophy during the season. And listen, at the end of the day, when a trophy's on the line, try and go and get it. Crystal Palace, they're not having an easy time at the moment. I watched their game at the weekend against Leeds. They were absolutely abysmal. 4-1, they lost the game, and 4 set pieces. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, set pieces? It's been a while. We're not as reliant on those, and we do miss Gabriel at the moment. So maybe the set pieces will return when Gabriel comes back. But yeah, listen, I think that we will still have a very strong lineup. I think that with Crystal Palace, they've got injuries, they've got players they need to manage, the likes of Arteta. They're saying that he's got a similar kind of injury to Munoz, but he's going to be out for God knows how long, because he's had surgery. But do they manage him in a sense that they don't play him in this? They keep him for the Premier League. It's a very, very interesting one as to what they do. And how strong they go for this game. And you look at their Conference League game last week, and they rested everybody for the Leeds game, and then that goes and backfires anyway because they get absolutely annihilated. But yeah, I think that our team selection will be rotated heavily, but I also think that the personnel we have coming in doesn't weaken us. I just feel it's defensively where we can't really make a lot of changes at the moment. So with that said, let's go and get into the lineup. In goal, Kepa. This is where we will make a change. He seems to be the Carabao Cup goalkeeper. I believe he will also be the FA Cup goalkeeper. If we've already guaranteed a place within the top two of the Champions League by the final game, after we played Inter Milan, then I think he'll probably play in that one as well. But yeah, for this game, Kepa, he goes in goal. It's very simple. Right back, Jurrien Timber. I don't think we have any other option. There is, a possibility of Josh Nichols, young lad coming from the academy into right back. I've seen him during pre-season. I've watched some of his performances and games. Very, very quick. Very good little player. But will Mikel bring him in for this game? I'm not too sure. But that is an option if, needs be, but I just don't see it. So I'm going to have Jurrien Timber there. Right centre-back, William Saliba. Again, I don't think we have any other option right now. We don't have anybody else that we can play there. There could be the possibility of Christian Norgard, but you'll realise why I haven't played him in a moment. And yeah, I just don't see anything different. I think that William Saliba, where he was out for that period, he's not played loads of minutes. So, there's no chance of a burnout or anything like that. I just feel that he will play the game. So there we go. Left centre-back. I think this is where we could possibly make a change, and it'd be interesting to see what we do. But I would probably like to see Riccardo Calafiori as the left centre-back. Hencape played a lot of minutes. Of course, he's new to the league. Started the, life to Arsenal with an injury and everything else, and he's kind of had to get himself going. And I just feel that it might be the good opportunity to, bring him out, give him a few days rest before we go into this busy period. And, apparently Gabriel's not too far away as well. But I just feel this is a position that we can maybe just experiment a little bit. And Calafiori, I think, is a very good left centre-back. And I'd like to see him there and just, try something a little different. Left back will be Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think that we're blessed in the sense that we've got those options on the left-hand side. It's more the right that we've got the issues, right back, right centre-back, etc. But I think we've got quite a bit of variation on the left-hand side. So, yeah, and like I was alluding to with the Calafiori situation, the reason why I would start him as well is because he was suspended for the Wolves game, so he's had quite a bit of a break. I think it's absolutely fine, but Miles Lewis-Skelly on that left-hand side. In the midfield, sitting in front, I'm going to go with Christian Norgard. Again, Martin Zubimendi, a player that's played a lot of minutes, won't be used to the Christmas schedule and, playing games because they will have their winter break in Spain and everything else. So I think that, giving him the opportunity to have this, little bit of a break, and then we, have to go into some big games with Brighton, and then we got Villa and Bournemouth, and those are the priority. So for me, Zubimendi comes out and Christian Norgard will go in. On the right-hand side, Noni Madueke, bring Bukayo Saka out of the side. Madueke, I'd like to see him. I think he's been very unfortunate in the last couple of games because he was really, really good in the Champions League game, scored 2 goals, and then he hasn't featured in the last 2 Premier League games. And obviously the situations were very different. They weren't as comfortable, and it is what it is. But listen, I think that this is the luxury that we have in the attacking sense, that we've got players like Noni Madueke who can come in for Bukayo Saka, where in recent years you'll be playing Saka in this game and they'll be like, we have to risk it, and we don't. He starts the game. It's that simple. Alongside him, Eberechi Eza, Martin Odegaard come out of the side. Eza will start. Not featured a lot in the last couple of games or so. Didn't play at all at the weekend. He will be raring to go. And yeah, I'd like to see him there. Odegaard's played a lot of minutes. He's frustrated a lot of people, holds on to the ball so much. And it's really annoying at the end of the day because Odegaard is such a quality player. But ever since he picked up that injury last season, right at the beginning, on international duty, he's never come back the same kind of player he was before. It's kind of a good performance, a bad performance, a bit of this, bit. There's no real consistency there, and it's getting a bit frustrating. But for me, Eza starts the game, and that's pretty straightforward. It's very, very simple. Alongside him, I'm going to go with Mikel Moreno. Declan Rice comes out of the side. This guy needs to be protected. Wrapped in cotton wool. He is the one player within the squad that can't be replaced. It's that simple. And like I said, when you've got the Premier League games coming up with Brighton and Villa and Bournemouth, those are the priority. Declan Rice has to be firing for those games. And he put so much into the 90 minutes. Listen, for me, Mikel Moreno, he can play there. You've got the likes of Eza there. No issues, no problems. I'm quite happy with that. So that's what I would go with. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Gabriel Martinelli. Trossard coming out of the side, Martinelli starting the game. Hopefully, Crystal Palace don't play with a low block, and hopefully they come to have a bit of a game of football, and that will leave some space for Martinelli to exploit. But yeah, I think that's a pretty straightforward one for me. And then up front, as the main striker, I'm going to go with Gabriel Jesus. Opportunity to start the game, more minutes. He's playing, minutes at the moment. And I think it's an opportunity to start Crystal Palace. He loves playing against Crystal Palace. You remember last season, Carabao Cup, hat-trick. And then played them in the Premier League a couple of days or so later. Couple of goals. Yeah, listen, it's a straightforward one for me. Gyökeres will come out of the side, get a bit of a break. I think that all the players that I've mentioned coming out of the side with the likes of the Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, Gyökeres, we can load up the bench. Ethan Nwaneri as well. We ain't even spoke about him and possibly playing him. I suppose we could look for an Eza and Nwaneri as 2 10s, and maybe a Mikel Moreno starting as the striker if we don't want to start with Gabriel Jesus if it's too soon. There's the options there. So like I said, I think in the midfield, the wide areas, and I think we've got a lot of options. I think that we don't really weaken the team with all of those different, scenarios. So it's just defensively, we're going to have to kind of watch what we're doing. But listen, I think that's a strong enough lineup. I think for a Carabao Cup quarterfinal during a busy period, there's a lot of changes there, but when you look at that lineup, it's very, very strong. There's a lot of teams in the Premier League that would love to be able to rotate in the manner that we can and still not weaken their sides in the same way. So I think this is a good opportunity for some of those players to get minutes in their legs and to, knock on the door of Mikel Arteta and, get us through to the semi-finals and face Chelsea. So 2 more really interesting games. But let's get this job done. Let's see what happens. And then we can move on to the Premier League games at the weekend and, Villa and everything else. So listen, there we go. That is it. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you agree or disagree? Of course, if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you a lot soon. I'm out of here.